but you're seeing quality basketball. You're seeing team basketball, and you can't always, you get superstar, dudes in the men's tournament, but except for maybe some of these smaller schools, you're not seeing that like high quality, basketball play within a team. So we were talking, if you see any potential upsets, and granted, we have one kind of built in because as we talked last week, Iowa and LSU being in the same bracket, we're going to lose one of these superstar teams before we even get to the Final Four, which is unfortunate. But if with what you guys have seen, if you guys see any potential upsets, and I think the upset is, to me, is like North Carolina or South Carolina not winning because they're undefeated. And they seem to be, that's the North Carolina, LSU, one of those teams. If you guys see a potential upset in the women's tournament, Deacon Hill, I'm going to start with you.
I was listening to First Take this morning. I was listening to Shannon Sharp, and he was saying that, it used to be that all the talent went to like 2-3 schools. It was UConn and a couple other schools that had all the talent. Now this talent is so spread out in so many different schools. I think a lot of we get caught up in the hype of LSU and Iowa because of the name players and stuff. But as I started to look at these other teams, these teams are pretty well matched. So I'm not counting out. I think I don't know who does LSU has. Who do they have next to tomorrow?
LSU plays UCLA on Saturday.
Oh,
dogfight.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. See, so I'm not even counting like, they're going to get to Iowa and that's going to be it. These teams are so well, matched that it could go any way. And I was just telling you guys, I love what I saw with USC. Juju Watkins, that young lady there can play some basketball. She has total ball control, tempo to her game. She's not out of control. She shoots the jumper. She shoots a three. She shoots off the glass. So, the talent is so spread out with the women that it's very interesting. And I wouldn't call I ain't calling nobody, guaranteed to get to the championship with this field.
Yeah, so you're not even seeing it as it being an upset because there's so many good teams out there.
There's a lot of good teams out there. Even Stanford's going to be hanging around there,
Yeah. Brother Bill.
Yeah, I would say watching the games, this last round, LSU got tested. Iowa got all they could ask for from West Virginia team, who arguably didn't have wasn't as offensively as talented as Iowa. But those ladies, they played some defense and they like nobody's business. I mean, they held Iowa, a team that averages 90 points a game, to 64. I mean, that's defense. They had ball control. They did everything right up until the last few minutes. So I would say if you're not doing anything Saturday, there's some games to watch on Saturday. You got LSU, UCLA, Colorado, Iowa, USC, Baylor, and Duke, UConn. That's on Saturday. And I don't see, each of those teams you have a favorite, but I don't think it would be an upset for any of those games. Those games I can see going either way, just because of what Deacon Greg said, just the competitiveness and the skill of the way these ladies are playing, which is nothing new, but there's just some great matchups.
And, Bill, me and Joe were talking about, what got me is that the women have a home court advantage. Like Iowa, these teams, the first two rounds, they're playing at home. So that's a huge advantage. Now they're going on the road. So all bets are off.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a home game. What's going on? But you're right. That's the way it works for the women. The first two rounds, on my home court, so much for neutral territory. And West Virginia still made Iowa sweat.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's an even bigger thing. I mean, because not only is it a home game for Iowa, but it's like the hero Caitlin Clark's last game. So people are going bananas, and they still, like you said, their defense held them. And it was. I mean, up until like the last minute, you're like, man, is Iowa gonna lose this game? it's crazy. And yeah, the home court advantage is like, yeah, I think it makes it more exciting, but man, that is a huge handicap for the away team.